Awesome. Hangouts on Air is now live. So let's get things set up here. Make sure that everyone has the correct link in the community chat. Some of people on the team are still joining in from the Atlanta office, from the Salt Lake office. So should get everybody here in a few minutes.
Welcome, John.
So as we get started, it looks like we lost John. Maybe Philip and Barbara, I could just do a quick intro to say who you are to the community while we get things set up.
Sure. So I'm Philip Hutchins. I do the DevOps for the team. I do scaling, infrastructure, architecture, design, whatever is needed. Love coding, automation, build pretty graphs, and all other things that are needed.
Awesome. Barbara? Barbara, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
I turned my camera on, but forgot to unmute. So my name is Barbara Liao. I'm out of the Salt Lake office, and just doing a bunch of developer stuff, and I'm mainly focusing on sales and marketing tools and the website interface.
Awesome. John, can you hear us? Doesn't appear to be so. So, all right, well, we'll move on as the team is joining in. We got about an hour to talk about what's been going on with Storj and also just go over any questions the community may have. So today we released the white paper version 2.0. So I'm sure a lot of people are excited for that. It updates what worked, what didn't work, and what is to come in Storj. So if you haven't started to take a look at that, I highly encourage people take a look at that and skim through it. It's pretty technical. But I think it's worthwhile for everyone taking a look at and at least reading some of the beginning parts, and helps you understand kind of the back end of Storj, how the sausage is made, how we built out this really awesome distributed network. So I might be going through a couple of points on that white paper, and we can also take questions from the community if they have any on the white paper. So a little bit of a status update on what's going on with Storj right now. So as of right now, we have about 1.5 petabytes, so 1,500 terabytes of information stored on the network. Now, that is comprised of about 5,000 farmers or 5,000 people who are sharing their hard drive space with their network, and they have a total capacity of around 8 petabytes of data, so 8,000 terabytes of data. So it's come a long way from 2014 when we first released the first white paper. And Storj was only an idea. We wanted to build out this really cool decentralized and distributed network that allowed us to have more private cloud, more secure, better performance, at a much cheaper cost. But it wasn't only an idea then. And so in the 2 years since, we've kind of figured out some things that worked and didn't work. And all of those things are kind of updated in the white paper. Awesome. It looks like we have the guys from the Atlanta office joining us. Can you guys hear us just fine?
Can we hear you?
Loud and clear.
Awesome.
We can hear you.
Awesome. So I was just doing a little blurb about the white paper and kind of the stats on the project where we are now. So let's just run through some quick intros for people who are kind of new here and may not know everybody. Philip and Barbara already did some intros. Let's run through some intros with the office, starting with, I guess, Alex.
As he attempts to unmute.
Yeah, I think he's going to attempt to unmute here.
There we go.
There we go.
Can you hear me clearly?
Sure can.
Oh, yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm Storj's Elite Software Master 4. I work on core with, well, sometimes, and the Storj Share GUI sometimes, and, well, everything except for Bridge. So that's me.
I'm Gordon. I'm Bookchin on GitHub and work on everything.
All right, hey, I'm Braden. Just joined about 2 months ago, something like that. Been working on core and also pretty much a little bit of everything except for the GUIs and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm Patrick. I'm the data guy, data scientist dude. Work on just getting these guys information that they need to make intelligent systems, and generally pretty cool guy.
If you do say so.
Ryan, I think my title is Senior Pretty Cool Guy.
Level 4.
Level 4.
Yeah.
Space thing.
Yes, man. I'm pretty cool.
Number 6 in the order. I work on a few of the GUIs and a lot of middleware stack stuff here.
And that's everybody who's here.
And that's all of us, John. Back to
Thank
you.
you.
Awesome. So I think we still have one more person to intro, and that is James. James, can you hear us loud and clear?
James, you're muted.
Yes, I can. And
Awesome.
I just lost the window for a second. Oh, hey, Tomo's joining us.
Awesome.
Anyways,
So,
I'm James. I'm COO of Storj Labs, and I worked a lot on the white paper, and I'm super excited that it's out now. Been my life for the last month or so.
yes, I'm sure everyone is currently enjoying it right now. Awesome. Tome, last person to go. We're just doing a round of intros so people can put faces to names. Tell everyone what you do. I think you're muted, Tome.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Hey, so I'm Tome. I do design and user interface and user experience for Storj.
Awesome. And John, did you get your audio issues sorted out?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm John
Awesome.
Quinn. I do sales marketing, customer success here at Storj.
Awesome. All right, cool. So we got everyone introed, and we talked a little about the white paper. So let's go through some of the white paper portions. James, since you wrote a lot of that, you want to kind of cover what's new in the Storj white paper and what people should be paying attention to compared to the old one?
So most of what's new in the white paper is concrete implementation details rather than ideas. Last time we wrote a white paper, we didn't really have much code written. We had a bunch of ideas for how to do things. This time around, we tried to put detail into proof of retrievability algorithms, sharding, encryption steps, client-side file stores. We tried to go in and flesh out everything from a high level so that people can actually see all the pieces of a functioning protocol and dive into how they work. Also new in this white paper is the concept of bridge, which is something we stumbled on while building the network that is almost essential to using something like this correctly. Bridges from simple REST API to complex distributed network, and provides a bunch of ancillary services. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so to continue to expand kind of off the bridge example, we think that distributed storage networks are really cool. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of complexities that exist in a distributed storage network that you typically don't deal with. And so we thought of the idea of a bridge of abstracting those difficulties. So when you want to store data, you don't have to worry about audits or payments or all these other things that you worry about in a distributed network. You just worry about storing your data. And you have these services and these APIs and these tool sets that help you abstract and, again, not have to worry about some of those steps. Ooh, awesome. It looks like we have 2 more people joining us. Dylan, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. So we're just doing intros and also talking about the white paper. Is there anything, tell people what you do.
I am a full stack developer working on the billing and subscription platform right now. A little bit of core work and bridge client work here and there too. Just trying to make things go smoothly.
Cool. Awesome. And Brian, looks like we have you as well. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Tell people what you do, Brian. How you're so awesome.
I build stuff. I don't know. We've been working on things together, Dylan and I recently, so doing a lot of similar stuff. Bridge,
Awesome.
Bridge GUI, billing things. Yeah.
Cool. So master of many systems.
We can't forget about Barbara too.
We did
an introduction.
Barbara did an introduction at the beginning.
Yeah, I was on time, Alex.
I wasn't there.
Awesome.
The link in calendar's wrong, just saying.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, everyone's here now, so all's well that ends well. Cool. So we have a question from the community chat that I wanted to rattle off here. So Nick is saying, hi, I read the white paper and the FAQ, and there's still one thing I didn't quite get. Is the information from where the data shard exists for a particular file only stored at the origin, the data owner? So is it on the owner to back up the index of the shard locations in order to restore the data in the event of a system failure? So maybe I'll have someone else take this. Perhaps Gordon would be best to explain this. We can't hear you guys.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So Nick is asking, is the information from where the shard exists, the data shards exist for a particular file only stored at the origin, he says in parentheses, data owner. So is it on the owner to back up the index of shard locations in order to restore the data in the event of a system failure? Kind of long, but that's his question.
Yes, the owner of the data is responsible for making sure that they have the metadata needed to go and retrieve the file on the network. They can store that themselves, or they can entrust that information to a bridge, and the bridge will maintain it for you.
Awesome. So that answers that question. So I guess let's kind of go into, let's see. We also got Fabe here. Fabe, would you like to intro yourself to the community? Tell them what you do. I think you're still on mute.
And mainly what I do is all Bitcoin related stuff, currently the micropayment hub.
Awesome. Thanks. So one of the community members would like to know kind of what's on the roadmap and what do we have planned next. Maybe the office could take this. I think we should probably add in kind of what we've been working on most recently and what we've added in most recently, and then we can kind of go into what we plan on adding in on the future. So I think between Gordon, Alex, and Braden, you guys should be able to articulate that quite well.
We're currently working on a portable C library for interacting with the Storj network, and there's that.
Right now, it's really about, for at least as far as what I'm focused on, what Braden and I have been focused on together for the last week or two, is just getting stability stuff working, ensuring that the durability on the network. If you put something out there, it is there, but can you get it back? Can you get it back when you want to? We're working through some issues with that right now and trying to get that to the point where you can somehow mix it around in the same.
Yeah, just to extend a little bit of that. So we just added in some automatic mirroring and replication on the bridge side. So and then we're also going to be taking a look at, when we know that a farmer is offline, automatically replicating, so we can basically continuously replicate files as nodes enter and exit the network. And then also, we'll segue into what Patrick does, is trying to create a reputation of farmers so that we can select the best farmers and the most reliable farmers to store the data so that we can have the highest probability of download success.
So yeah, what Braden said, we're currently working on building some machine learning models to not just be aware when somebody's offline, but also what's the probable likelihood that they're going to be online when we need them to, right? So if you upload a file, you're able to get it back in a day from now, right? And the better we are at that, the better the system works.
That's what we're currently working on.
That's fine.
I'm essentially working on a really large scheduling queue for auditing every shard that's out there for bridges, essentially, so that they can ensure that the data is actually where they say it is, and we can have moments in time where we're actually saying, yes, so this was definitely here. They've solved a cryptographic puzzle to ensure that they are actually in possession of this shard, and then recording those results in a large scheduled time sequence. So I'm working on that system with the MongoDB backend, right? So.
Cool. Patrick, I think it would be useful to maybe expand a little bit of that, because we know a lot about what's going on behind the scenes, working with you every day, but maybe telling the community a little bit more about the data we collect and how we can use that to kind of detect failures, but also make this a system really perform, and then maybe dive in a little bit of like how we think that best should be done. Maybe.
Yeah, sure. So about I don't know, Gordon, correct me if I'm wrong, but about 3 weeks ago. All right, never mind. About 3 weeks ago, we started collecting something called an exchange report, which was a way of looking at when somebody requests, a client requests, I want to either upload a file, download a file, who are they asking and what was the end result of that, right? Did it succeed? Did it fail? If it did succeed, how long did it take? And the same thing with failures. Is it something that's failing immediately, or is it taking a while? Timeouts, things of that nature. And the idea is, once you've built up a profile, and we use that term about farmer profiles, it's looking at how farmers perform and their relationships to various clients. Once you have metrics like that, it makes it easier to determine, hey, this client has a very good relationship with this set of farmers and these nodes in the network, and for whatever reason, it looks like they're a good match. So we should, in the future, give them, these farmers. And using that, you get more stability. And also what you can do with exchange reports is say, hey, this farmer seems to be on and off a lot. It looks like they have good relationships with people, but when people go to download their information, for whatever reason, they don't seem to be available. That's important to know, right? For some use cases, for cold storage, for instance, you might need it, only once a month. But for people who need it every minute, if they're posting videos like YouTube or something like that, we need to be aware of what a farmer's preferences are like. So using this kind of information, we're able to, predict those cycles and look at, behavior patterns essentially, and be more proactive and predict these things.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks for diving into that. So I guess to the question a little bit more, can you talk a little bit about what's kind of on the future end of things for the protocol, for Storj itself? This can be any one of you that kind of wants to take what you think and hope will be built out in the next couple of coming months. Gordon, maybe you want to take this?
Yeah, go for it. All right. So a couple of ideas that we've had. Two ideas that we have kind of in the backlog is one is to add client keys to contracts. Because right now, when a client downloads the file, contacts the bridge, gets pointers, and then there's kind of a whole negotiation going on there to get tokens. Gets the tokens from the bridge, and then uses those tokens to actually download the shards. We're thinking about streamlining that a little bit so that clients can directly contact the farmers and with some sort of a ECDSA signature, proof that they are them, and then have the download authorization all happen directly that way. Another idea that is in the backlog is having all farmers have, because the whole network is over HTTP, but they're running over HTTPS so that browser, the advantage of having HTTP is that in a browser you can pretty much contact anybody in the network. And so if all of the nodes are using HTTPS, then you can have a secure website and then also communicate with the network and not have mixed content issues. So that's one solution that we have towards bringing the network into a browser. There's a few other ideas, but I think that and WebRTC are probably the best options. So that's, I think, probably the two things that are coming up or might come up.
Yeah, right. It's about seeing figuring out how much data that we can, how we can use the bridge in a way that it gets as much information about the network as it can to make intelligent decisions for you, but then ultimately be responsible for as little of your data as possible, or as little of the access to your data as possible. So weighing that balance is going to be, it's a task. The client keys will help, so you don't have to ask the bridge to get your file back. You can just ask for it directly. The bridge can keep cache or some copy of it you can request it if you need it, or if you need to transfer it somewhere else. But yeah, getting out of the way.
All right. And also that is the bridge can because it's going to know a lot about farmers. It can give recommendations to, okay, well, this farmer's been performing better than others, and so you can kind of give those results back to the client and update whatever cache they have in terms of the metadata for the files. So
awesome.
Also, the C library is coming up. Sorry.
Yeah, that's something that's going to be very, very exciting for a integration that we won't talk about yet, but the C library is going to be very exciting when that pops out. I think a lot of people will enjoy that. Cool. Let's see. Anything else to add to that? Philip, would you like to add anything to that in terms of what we've been working on currently and what you'd like to add in the future?
Sure. I mean, kind of seems a little backwards, but we've been working on scaling down because we had quite a bit of infrastructure, but we've done a whole lot of work towards making our software run with as little footprint as possible. So it's been nice to turn off a bunch of nodes and still see really good performance. Trying to expose as much data as we can to everybody on the team or anybody that's interested, just so that we have as much introspection into the into the system, so that we can see what's going on, so we can see where problems are, what's fast and what's not. Been doing a lot of work with Patrick, and we'll continue to do that in the future. Putting a lot of work into what we're calling developer ergonomics, which is kind of making everybody's daily life easier, which will also translate into the community being able to develop with our tools a lot easier also. So we're doing a lot of work towards Dockerizing things. We're going to be running things as much as we can in Docker using Kubernetes. It'll make scaling a lot easier, and a lot of other things. We've written a deploy script, which is really helpful, so we can do 1-2-click deploys. Anybody on the team can deploy. And for the future, just a lot of the same stuff. Just keep, we automate as much as possible and move on to the next bigger thing. The less that we have to do during the day to keep everything going and being able to focus on coding and coming up with ideas and working with the community, the better it gets. So. Cool.
It seems some of the community members are having a little bit of problems with the stream. So I think we're just going to continue and hope that YouTube is kind of recording everything so people can see this later. But I guess we'll just continue for now because there's nothing else we can really switch to. Patrick, did you have something that you wanted to add? I saw a hand.
I think he was just happy about.
Okay, he was very happy. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
He was raising his hand in agreement.
So I guess there's two other things that I wanted to talk about next. Number one is our integration with Heroku. So for those of you who don't know, Heroku is a very large developer platform that we have released some guides and done a lot of work on integrating the Storj platform into Heroku. Barbara, if you can still hear me and are there, has done some tutorials on how to get that all set up and using it from start to finish. Barbara, would you like to talk about that tutorial series that you built out? If you're still there, still on mute. I don't hear her, so assume she's somewhere. So yeah, just saying that Barbara built out a really, really great tutorial series. If you like to check out building out kind of a storage app that's able to upload and download and use all the tools and features of the Storj network. So highly recommend that you check that out. That is in our blog. If you'd like to look for that, just look at blog.storj.io and you can easily find the link to all those tutorials. The second thing that we announced a couple of weeks ago is our first enterprise customer, Fortune 500 enterprise customer, Cox Enterprises. They're going to be pushing up to a petabyte of data on the network. So we're really excited about that and that opportunity. Perhaps James, would you like to talk a little bit about the Cox opportunity and heading that up a bit?
Well, there's not much more to say than what you already said. We're cooperating them to try to get a petabyte of data on the network over the next couple months. It took a lot of legwork from John and Sean and I to get it to this point, and we're very excited about it. Paid demand on the network is the exact thing everybody wants right now. So
absolutely, that makes us happy, and it makes the farmers happy. It gets them more words, and it's good for the network growth. So we're really happy and excited about that. Cool. So yeah, those are kind of the two things that are happening. The integration in Heroku was just submitted to go live and in production. What was that? Day or two ago?
2 days ago, yep.
Yep. So that's happening fairly shortly. So we're really excited to see what people build out with that integration.
Also, those how-tos and DIYs that Barbara wrote aren't just good for Heroku. They're great for learning how Storj works or how to develop on Storj. Also, it walks you through implementing each step, a little bit along the way, and explains it, and has kind of like gamifies the experience. So it has a project that starts you off with none of it and walks you through adding each piece. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I think we've added a lot of resources recently, both on the side for things like Heroku and those tutorials that tell you like this is how you can use the tools and you can build an application, but also resources like the white papers, like here's how all the sausage is made in the background, and just trying to explain and break down all the processes that happen to make allow you to store data and allow you to download data in a robust and fast and decentralized manner. Cool. So we went over white paper, the two integrations, and I guess the test group C progress is also on the kind of list of agenda here. So I've already mentioned that we have around 1.5 petabytes of data, so 1,500 terabytes of data stored on the network, 8 petabytes of capacity. Patrick, is there anything else you would like to add in terms of cool numbers that the community may know? Maybe putting you on the spot a little bit, you don't have all the data in front of you, but is there any cool things that maybe you'd like to share?
Somebody on mute, man.
Yeah, you're good.
Something I realized today when I was doing some stuff, that we almost have 17 million contracts, which I think is pretty cool. So that seemed like a really big number. But yeah, the contracts and pretty much the size that you've already mentioned was, to me, pretty impressive.
Cool.
The other day, actually, this Monday or Tuesday, we, for the first time, hit 10,000 API users. I think it's currently around 10,200. So that keeps on going up and up, which is exciting to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is very exciting.
To add to that, also, our download and upload success rates are higher and more consistent now than they've ever been. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. Philip, do you have any numbers in terms of the growth of the community? As many of you in the community may know, we switched from Slack to Rocket Chat because we hit the limit for Slack. We just couldn't add any more people. So I'm not necessarily sure what the numbers for Rocket Chat are currently, because I don't think it shows that in the interface like Slack
it does.
did.
It last I checked, we were a little bit over 1,000, which is a fraction of what we had in the main community. But there's a lot of people that don't check in every day, so we're still having people that trickle in little at a time, and we haven't hard shut down the old one, so that will probably trigger a number of people to join back. But yeah, it's consistently growing just like it used to, just on the new platform. The new platform's been pretty darn good, and it's open source software, which is a big plus.
Cool. So I think that's all we want to cover. Is there anything else anyone would like to add in? I think we can kind of wrap this up here. What we also might try doing is restarting the feed since people are having issues, but I think we've covered all the main points that were on the agenda in terms of traction, in terms of the network, the white paper, those things. Is there anything else anyone would like to add? All good in the office? You guys are good. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna bring this down to a close, but everyone don't go yet. We are gonna try to restart the stream, but at least we covered all the main points that we wanted to talk about. So let's restart the stream here with the new one and see if people can see that. All right, stopping the broadcast here.